Today's story is chapter 56. Let the Slanderers Talk. Back in 18th century Japan, the pretty popular unmarried daughter of a sake merchant became pregnant. As her condition began to show, the news spread like wildfire, and her father badgered her mercilessly to name who had done this to her. Afraid to tell the truth, the girl thought in desperation that if she pointed a finger at the saintly Zen priest Hakuin, whose temple was nearby, that might get her off the hook. She whispered to her mother, "Actually, the child I am carrying is from Hakuin." When her father heard this, he became enraged and barged into the temple without removing his shoes. He demanded to see the eminent priest and directed a barrage of curses and insults at him. Then, his anger still unappeased, he demanded the sum of money to help defray childcare expenses. Hakuin's response was classic. "Ah, I see," he said, and handed the irate father a slight amount of money. People who had previously dismissed the accusation now became convinced that it was true, and Hakuin was indeed a hypocrite. This gossip too spread far and wide in no time. Hakuin paid no heed to the appalling things that were said about him. His policy was let the slanderer commit slander. Let people have their say. It is for others to speak and for me to accept or reject what is said. Tortured by the unexpected storm she had stirred up, the girl finally was forced to tell her parents the truth. Now they were doubly astonished. They marched her straight to the temple, where the three prostrated themselves and apologized over and over for their unpardonable behavior. "Ah, I see." Once again, Hakuin said only this, nodding. Though we may be living upright lives, sometimes it happens that unfounded slander and gossip take us by surprise, filling us with anguish and anger. But in time, the facts will emerge, resonating far and wide like the sound of a drum in the hands of a master. In past, present, and future, there is none whom everyone slanders, none who is praised by all. Wisdom of the Buddha, the Dhammapada. This story is well known among Buddhists in the Buddhist circle and also many Westerners through many books and internet articles. So Hakuin's name is kind of worldwide now because, as is described in the story, he was saintly Zen priest. On the surface level, he didn't reveal any of his worldly passions. Is it really possible for a human being? Yeah, I think it's possible, especially or at least in the public, in front of others, because we have desire for recognition. We don't want to be criticized or blamed or looked down as Buddhist because we reveal or we don't filter our blind passions. Especially those monks must have had a lot of that desire. That's why, yeah, on the surface level, it was possible. That's my understanding. And there's no such human being who don't have blind passions. But still, there are a lot of important lessons we can learn from those priests or Zen monks. That's why the Pure Land master and author of this book mentions his episode here. But again, from Pure Land Buddhist perspective, such a person doesn't look like uh, lovable or amicable, or we want to keep a little bit distance because such a person doesn't look like human being, and this is also true. On the other hand, pure and Buddhist masters like Master Shinran or Master Renyo showed a lot of vulnerability, although they were experiencing true happiness, absolute happiness that Amida Buddha granted to them. That's the true happiness. We can enjoy profound joy of life while having human blind passions. That is the real, authentic happiness. We don't try to achieve true happiness by eliminating blind passions. So this is the grave difference between two schools of Buddhism. But anyway, based on today's story, we can learn an important lesson because we are all always swayed and get fret about what people say about us. And this is almost all the suffering we have in this world. Yeah, once we can overcome this problem, maybe there'll be nothing we will be worried about. But again, we will achieve it without reducing or eliminating human blind passion. Human blind passion will never cease to exist. And once we lose our desire, how tasteless human life will be. Thanks to our desire, we enjoy a lot of fun and pleasures in this world. But on our journey, in the process, we have to encounter with a lot of conflicts and frictions in the human relationship. So we should keep this episode in mind and try not to suffer too much from such slanders and criticism from people outside. And then what matters the most is how fast we can go forward on our journey to our ultimate goal. We don't have enough time to waste on this earth. So yeah, that's what all the masters of Buddha emphasized. Okay, this is what I think what we can learn from this short episode of Zen Priest. Good job, everyone, and that's all for today's recitation meditation practice.